Can I give you a little tip from a 30-year veteran in this business about pricing listings? I will tell you that I learned something the last couple weeks that I've just started to go with, and I can tell you right now, it's worked on the last 4 listing appointments. Stay tuned for this video. I'm going to tell you a little bit about what my coach taught me, what I'm practicing now as we speak. And I'm making this video in April 2026. I'll let you know how it goes in the next several months down the road, but check this out. Let me know what you think. My name is Brian Stevens, eXp Realty, ready to add value to you as a real estate agent. As I learn, I want you to learn. And if we can all learn, the world gets better, right? The market gets better. So again, been with many brokerages. I was with, first of all, my dad was a home builder for 25 years. So I did that, then went to General Real Estate, went to Coldwell Banker, was there for about 3 years, great company, went to RE/MAX for 11 years, loved it there, grew there, started our own brokerage and did that for about a year and a half, 2 years. And that's when the market crashed here all over in Florida and really all over the place. Then went to Keller Williams for the next 11 years and again, loved that. And then went to eXp Realty about 3 years ago this year. So, and things are going wonderful. All right, so here's what I'm continuing to learn. I am mainly a listing specialist, and what I'm going to tell you is a slight shift I have now done in my market analysis. So put a lot of time, a lot of effort into my market analysis, but today I want to talk about one thing and one thing only, and that's pricing. You and I know there's 3 reasons that a home does not sell, and I use this all the time whenever I'm talking to my sellers or I meet them and talk about pricing, right? 3 reasons. Number 1, location. Number 2, condition. Number 3, price. And it's normally number 3, which is price, okay? If we could figure out the price on these listings, hey, these things would all sell right away. And by the way, if we nailed it down exactly perfect every time, there'd be no homes in the market. So that wouldn't be a good thing. I currently carry a good amount of listings, right? I say that to say I'm always trying to tweak things, make it better. But here's what I learned, and especially been practicing the last month. In my listing presentation, I would generally give a price range, okay? So I'm gonna use the example of if I would do all my market analysis, come up with the comparables, usually I'll have, call it 4 active, a couple pending, and at least 4 sold properties. That's just generally what I do on the average. Now that's gonna tweak a little bit depending on the market and the neighborhood, but that's generally what I put. And what I would typically do, and I'm gonna give you a round number here, and this is just kind of for illustration purposes. If I thought the home was worth, I'm gonna say $459,900, for example, okay? I would give them a range of $450,000 to $470,000. Okay, I may say $475,000, but I'm gonna say $450,000 or $449,900 to $469,900. That may be my range, okay? Ultimately, I thought $459,900 is a decent price. The sweet spot would be really $449,900 or $450,000. Why? Because buyers typically search in increments of, in that price range, $25,000 or $50,000. In that price range. I think my personal opinion is whenever they go over $500,000, then they may search in increments of $50,000, right? And again, that's all opinion and who knows, but that kind of gives you an idea. So I would always, up until a month ago, do my market analysis and put a range. So for example, I would put $450,000 to $470,000. Well, here's what I learned over time. And again, this is a very generalization of my last so many years in going on appointments with market analysis. So I bring them the market analysis and it would have a price range. Just call it again, $450,000 to $470,000, $475,000. Almost all of the time they would pick the higher price. And I would tell them that's on the higher side a little bit, but let's give it a shot. Let's see what the market does. No hurt, no harm, no foul in putting it out there. And by the way, there's nothing wrong with doing that. And by the way, sometimes it worked and I was not always 100% right. Sometimes you put at the higher price and it sold for that. I mean, again, I'm telling you what I'm doing now in this market, which is very, very price sensitive with rates a little bit higher. You've really got to be on target on price. So I would give them a range. Most of the time they would pick higher. Okay. Nothing wrong with it. Now, what I do, when I talk to my coach, had a conversation with them and he said this, you need to come up with an exact price, what you give them, okay? And you call it the sweet spot, all right? So in that conversation, it may be something like this. You think it's worth from 450 to I'm just going to say 475, right? You give them the range. They're going to pick higher almost all the time, unless they're motivated. They really need to move. They're time crunched. Every seller's a little bit different. Then they would maybe pick the lower end, but typically they're going to pick the higher end, which, by the way, what it does is then your seller is chasing the market down according to what a buyer will pay. And DOM, days on the market, goes up on MLS. Days on the market is our killer. That's our death. We don't like days on the market because what happens? If a home is on the market, say 92 days, right? Our average range here in the Central Florida area in my market is about 75. Say it's in the market 92 days. Buyers are looking at it online on Zillow and Realtor and all the Redfin, all the sites on MLS and going, what's wrong with it? And the truth is there's really nothing wrong with it, but they probably overpriced it because nobody's making offers. So this is what happens. So instead of that, have a price in mind that I do and that you should put on your market analysis. Now, for example, my mind, this home, $449.9 or $450 is the price. That's the sweet spot. Okay. So I'm going to put on my market analysis $450. That is it. Well, Brian, I think I should maybe go 460, 465, but you're saying 450, what do you think about that? Well, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, that would be a very aggressive price. That would be on the aggressive side. Your home may take longer to sell at that. Just so you know, I really think the sweet spot is 450. Okay, I think 450, and I think your home will probably sell for about 440 is what I'm estimating here. Because in your price range, Mr. Seller, homes are selling for about 97 to 98% of list price. So you'll probably come in around 435, 440, something like that. So we should list it at 450. Again, every conversation is going to be a little bit different, but you kind of see what I'm going at. So put that exact price, what you feel like you should list it for. Don't beat around the bush. Don't cut corners. Be straightforward with people. They will appreciate it, right? Sellers love honesty, integrity, but a straightforward approach to pricing their home out. Because in the end of the day, they want you to sell their house. They don't want you to list their home to have pretty photos for marketing and put on all your social media. They want their house sold, and that's our job as your agent, Mr. Seller, to sell your house. So try this. Use a strategy where it's an exact price. Don't come up with a range. And then because they're almost always going to pick the higher price, and then guess what happens? You're chasing it down. You're sitting on the market. You're holding on to all this inventory. And the sellers are going, what is taking so long? So I hope this video has added value to you. This is what I'm doing today. Now, as I tweak it and as I learn more, I will go on here and I will illustrate some more examples of that. I hope this video has helped you. Do me a favor. If you like this content, comment below what you learned from this, what you're going to try, and what your thoughts and feelings are. Here's the thing. I'm not right in 100%, but I want to offer and add value to you, right? And to help you win in your business because we learn from each other, okay? We're always learning from each other. God bless you guys. Have a great day.